Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Leo tunasoma, karibuni tena mwanzo kwa channel yetu. This is a new thing that I came up with. Nikasema wacha nifunze wanafunzi wetu kuhusu hizi topics za grade 9, then we'll go to grade 8 also, grade 7 then and grade 6, yani nita combine so that each topic uweze kuelewa ni vile, kuliko kuwapa mapapers daily na hamujui hata content ya hizo papers, itakuwa ni ngumu kwako kama mwanafunzi. So the topic, this is usually the third topic of grade 9, so and it's very easy to, it's the very easiest topic that you'll ever encounter. So if you're given a question like this, so in this topic is usually called indices, and I'll understand and I'll explain to you why do you call it indices. So in index is usually a power that's based with a power is usually what we call the index. But if it's just a power, you usually call logarithm. But for now, we have indices. Now, if you've been given something like this, 1 over 7 times 1 over 7 times 1 over 7 times 1 over 7, if you wanted to write in index form, therefore, you just write it like this. Rather than writing all the numbers, you'd say 1 over 7 to the power of 5, because you have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So what if you had 3 over 5 times 3 over 5 times 3 over 5 times 3 over 5? In index form, you write it as 3 over 5 to the power of 4 because of those 4 numbers. Okay, and it should resemble to each other. Now let's go to the other question that you can solve by yourself. Okay, sasa hii ni swali ambao nyinyi kama wanafunzi wetu mwaweza mkafanya, but for that let me use another ink. So let me use this ink ya KTK. Okay, so 5 times 5 is, if you write it in index form, ni kwa vile 5 ziko mara mbili, usiandike 2 times 5, but it's 5 squared. Y times y times y is y cubed. 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 mara tano hizo, so ni 2 to the power of 5. But what if it is fraction form? So it just becomes 1 over 6 times 1 over 6 times 1 over 6 times 1 over 6, which is just the same as writing 1 over 6 to the power of 4. Very simple answer. Now what if umpewa hii sasa number ambayo iko power form, uandike in expanded form. So it's just the same, we're just going back and forth. So 3 cubed ni just 3 times 3 times 3. Okay, 4 to the power of 5 is just 4 times 4 times 4 times 4 times 4, which is very easy. And 5 to the power of 7 is 5 times 5 times 5, those are 3 5s. 5 times 5, those are 5 5s. 10 times 5, 10 times 5. So those are still how many 5s? Still, let's just add another 5. So it gives you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, I added an extra 5, which I'm not supposed to add. So when you look at it, yeah, those are 7 5s. For the last one, we have 9 cubed, so it's just basically 9 times 9 times 9. Yeah, let's go to the other question now. Okay, write hii ni swali lingine, write in its simplest index form. Write in its simplest index form. So question A uko na 9. So yamaanisha nini yani? Yamaanisha kuwa wafaa hii number ambao ni 9 wafaa uandike kuwe na number, yani number power something giving you 9. So the only numbers that can be divided into 9 is 3 too. So 3 ukichukua 9 divided by 3 itakupa 3. So ni 3 squared. So that is the simplest index form. For the 16, waweza piga na 2 power something. You can also try it with 4 squared as well. But let's try it with 2 first. So 16, yani 2 power ngapi yakupa 16? 2 times 2 ni 4. 2 times 2 times 2 ni 8, right? So hata ukiona hapa 2 times 2 times 2 ni 8. Ukipiga tena times 2 ingine ndio yakupa 16. So ni 2 to the power of 4 ndio yakupa 16. Tamam. Or 4 to the power of 2 also. But the simplest way is 2 to the power of 4. For the 64 also, you ask yourself again the same thing. So 4 to the power of something yakupa 64. So 4 to the power of 3. Yeah, also 2 to the power of something also gives you, so utajiuliza 2 to the power of ngapi yakupa 64. So mimi nikiangalia kama 4 to the power of 3 yakupa 64, 2 to the power of 6 yakupa 64. Sawa, waweza tumia calculator, but you can also try 4 to the power of 3 as well. This is the correct answer, but let me just leave this as our last answer. So 125 ukiona is divisible by 5, so ukianga 5 times 5 ni 25 times 5 ingine itakuwa 125, so ni 5 to the power of 3. So yeah, so very simple question. Okay, sasa hii ndo main thing of the day, so laws of indices. Yani what happens, yani if you multiply this to this, if you divide numbers with powers. Okay, so hapa condition katika laws of indices, ikiwa ya kwanza, rule ya kwanza ni kuwa ikiwa bases ziko sawa, yani zote ni let's say 2 yani 2 to the power of 5 times 2 to the power of 3, zote kama ziko sawa uta add hizo powers, so ile m na n uta add, so itakuwa m plus n. Sawa, nitaonyesha examples as well. This is just a review of the laws. Ikiwa ni division, if the bases are the same, you subtract the power, so m minus n. Na ikiwa your power is negative, so hapa nimeandika power negative m, you do the reciprocal of a, which is 1 over a. Na once ushafanya ile reciprocal yake, ile negative ile power negative inakuwa positive. Sawa, and then if you have two powers outside, you multiply those two powers, so utafanya b times y, so which is at the end of the day by. Tamam, so ama b times y, just the same. And the last one but not the least, ikiwa kuna power yako ni fraction, so hile denominator inakuwa root, yani kama denominator yako ni 2 inakuwa square root, kama denominator yako ni 3 inakuwa cube root, so root of that a to the power of m. Also you can also write this, waweza kufanya power m, yani a to the power of m, then you fanya root ya n. Now let's go to the questions. Each rule tafanya nini question yake. Okay, law ya kwanza ni is that if you multiply same bases with different powers, you add those different powers. Kwa mfano, okay, kwa mfano kuna 3 to the power of 2 times 3 to the power of 3, so just like usual hii answer yako obviously itakuwa ni 3. Okay, let me wrap this, heri niandike hapa, so inakuwa answer ni 3, lakini power wafau add 2 plus 3, so at the end of the day inakuwa 3 to the power of 5. So it's the same thing with the second question. Sasa the second question, question B, umeambiwa 10y power 4 times 2y power 3. So mwanzo unafaa kumultiply these numbers ambao ziko nyuma ya hizo letters, so you need to multiply those numbers first. So if I take 10 times 2, it gives you 20. As for the other one, which is y, we say that if you have same bases but different powers, you add those powers, so you add 4 plus 3, and at the end of the day your answer will be 20y to the power of 7. Okay, so you can pause the video and try out this question C and D by yourself, but we'll do it together. I want just you to try it out so that you can see how it's solved. Okay, so I hope you paused the video and now we're supposed to answer this question. So again, 11 to the power of 21 times 11 to the power of 13, you add those powers, 21 plus 13, since the bases are the same, so 21 plus 13 gives you 11 to the power of 34. Okay, as for this, we said you take this times this, so 7 times 3 gives you 21. So basically I already have 21 here, I don't need to write this one, so 21. As for the p, we add the powers. Remember, you're taking 4 plus negative 2. Okay, So 4 plus negative 2, which eventually becomes just only 4 minus 2, because you have positive and the negative supersedes the positive. So you'll have 4 minus 2. Remember, you're not subtracting. It's because of that negative 2 that's there, the positive will disappear. So 4 plus negative 2 is just 4 minus 2, which at the end of the day is the same as saying 21p to the power of 2. So yeah, very easy. Now let's go to the law 2. Okay, law 2 is about division, and now when we say that if the bases are the same, and if you're dividing those two bases with different powers, you subtract those powers. So let's subtract those powers. So you have 5 to the power of 6 divided by 5 to the power of 4, which is just basically saying 6 minus 4. So at the end of the day, itakupa 5 to the power of 2. 6 minus 4 ni 2. So also, when you have a situation like this, okay, so we have 9c to the power of 5. So hii ni c to the power of 5 divided by 9c to the power of 2. Remember that 9 divided by 9 cancels out. So utabakiwa na c to the power of 5 divided by c to the power of 2, which is again the same thing, 5 minus 2. And at the end of the day, it gives you 6 to c to the power of 3. Okay, so you can pause and do the other question by yourself. Okay, but let's do it together. So this one, the same thing. So you have 5, the power subtract 3 minus 5. So if you take 3 minus 5, inakupa 5 to the power of negative 2. Remember, very crucial factor, 3 minus 5 and not 5 minus 3. So that's your answer. Now for the other one, also 8x to the power of 6 divided by 8x to the power of 2. Let me wrap this one. So there's one which will cancel the other. 8 divided by 8. 8 divided by 8. This is 8 divided by 8. 8 will cancel out, gives you 1. So for the other one, you 6x to the power of 6 divided by x squared is just 6 minus 2. So your answer should be x to the power of 4. Yeah. So these are your answers. This, and this. Very easy question. Okay, for law 3, we say that if you have two powers, which is power of power, so you multiply those two powers. So for example, question A, we have 3 to the power of 3, which into bracket there's another power which is 2. So for this case, just multiply those two powers, 3 times 2, to give you 3 to the power of 6. Okay, tamam. So for this one also, multiply those two powers, which is 2 times 4, to give you 4 to the power of 8. So very simple. Now you can pause the video and do those other two questions by yourself, try it out. So yeah, when you have something like this, again, 2 to the power of 2 times 3, which is just, let me wrap this, 2 times 3 gives you 2 to the power of 6. For this case, we have two numbers, the numerator and the denominator. You need to do power 5. So 5 to the power of 5, and 7, there's power 5, there's another power, so 5 times 5, it gives you 25. So if you look at it carefully, 5 to the power of 5, look at how much it gives you, and 7 to the power of 25. Tamam. Okay, so 5 to the power of 5 gives me 3125, and 7 to the power of 25 gives me a lot of numbers. So let's say hey, it's a lot of numbers, 1.34 times 10 to the power of 21. But it's better to just leave it like this. I'm just leaving it like this so that I don't get awkward answers. So for me, leaving like this is correct, and this one is correct, this one is correct, and this one is correct. Now let's go to the law 4. Okay, law 4, this is negative indices. So if you have a power which is negative, you just do the reciprocal and you get 1 over a to the power of m. So if you get a question like this, 9 to the power of negative 4, you do the reciprocal of it, because since there's 1 there, So just write 1 over 9 to the power of 4. Just leave it like that, it's better. As for this one, 9 to the power of 12 divided by 9 to the power of 15. We said if it's division, you subtract those two powers. Right. Let me use another color. So let me use this color, black, because I've used that color for answering question. So to say this is 1 over 9 to the power of 4. If it's division, we say you subtract those two powers. So 12 minus 15 gives you -3. But now again, we said you do the reciprocal of that. So you get 1 over 9 to the power of 3. Now pause and do the other two questions by yourself. As if you pause, then hopefully you have got the answer. You do the reciprocal, it gives you 5 to the power of 3. Remember, it's down. This time it's down, you put it up and it becomes positive instead. Subtract the powers again to give you b to the power of 10 minus 13 gives you -3. And again, your final answer, the reciprocal 1 over b cubed. So those are your answers. Not that hard. We'll assume it to be hard. Now let's go to the other two laws. Well, there's one law which I've missed to mention. So law 5, which is fractional indices. So when you have a power as a fraction, so the numerator becomes the power, but the denominator becomes the root. So for example, we have 4 to the power of half. So the denominator, which is 2. Now the last rule is about fractional indices. So we say that if you have a base which has a power that acts as a fraction, the numerator becomes the power, the denominator becomes the roots. So for this case, for question A, is 4 to the power of half. So it basically means that the denominator, which is 2, is the square root. So square root of 4 to the power of 1, which is just 2. Tamam. So this one also the same situation, but for this one you cube root first. The 3 is usually the root itself. So cube root of 27, then you square the whole thing because of the 2 which is here. So the cube root of 27 is basically 3, and if you square it, it gives you 9. For this one also the same thing, but this time you're making a root of a number, a fraction. So fourth root of 181. Tamam. So the fourth root of 181, the fourth root of 81 basically is just 3, and the fourth root of 1 is just 1. So it's 1 over 3. Yeah. Is it 3 really? Fourth root of 81. I'm not sure, but let me just confirm. Yeah, it's 3. So for the last question, which is a very crucial question, also this applies the same. So for this, you do the fourth root of 81, then cube it. So the fourth root of 81, you just say it is 3 to the power of 3, it gives you 27. So these are your answers. I need to show you the for the last law, which is very crucial. Okay, for the last law is anything raised to the power of 0 is usually 1. So if it is, for example, 1000 to the power of, so 1000 to the power of 0 is just 1. Now if you have like this also, 3 to the power of 2 divided by 3 to the power of 2, you say you subtract those powers. So at the end of the day, it gives you 3 to the power of 0, which is just 1 as well. So yeah, just like usual, we've ended the lesson there. So don't forget to share, subscribe. Also going to do other questions for indices which are combined. So share and subscribe, tell your friend to tell your friend, or tell a friend to tell a friend that we have these lessons ongoing, live sessions, and also have my own tuition program 0797 550885. So don't forget to contact me. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.